The sky is falling. Everybody's trying to grab the cloud.
I grabbed some corn from the farmer's market the other day, and it is without a doubt the best sweet corn I've ever had, which gave me the idea to share with you the easiest and probably best corn recipe you will ever eat. Now, you can absolutely skip this step and boil the corn or just roast it in an oven set to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, but this easy extra step will take it to a whole new level. I'm using hardwood charcoal, but briquettes or a propane barbecue will work too. The charcoal is roughly 450 degrees Fahrenheit, so you're going to want to place them opposite to the coals. You don't need to remove the husks either. Leaving them on will allow them to steam themselves and make them taste a bit sweeter. Cover and let them roast for 5 to 7 minutes, turning once halfway. The last thing we're going to want to do is get some color and char on them. Now, I didn't feel like dragging all the gear back into the house just to drag it all back out, so I shucked the corn right on the grill. But unless you've worked in a restaurant and are pretty much immune to pain, I'd recommend not doing this. Then just place the corn directly above the coals until they start to blister and char. This took me all of 15 minutes to do, and I promise if you love corn, it'll be worth it. Like I said at the beginning, this dish is incredibly easy to make, and you can, of course, add whatever you'd like to it. You do you. But I think the simplicity of corn cheese is part of what makes it so great. I'm using a yellow cooking onion and just giving it a quick dice. You definitely don't need to be precise here, so it's a good opportunity to practice those knife skills. Now, this is just a personal preference, but I always prefer to buy slabs of bacon. They're generally much cheaper than packaged and sliced, plus you have the option of having nice big pieces. I'm also just giving the bacon a quick dice into some nice thick chunks. This is referred to as lardons in the French culinary. The next thing we can do is go ahead and slice all of the kernels off of the grilled corn. You're going to want to slice the end off of the corn to give it a flat, solid base to stand on. It's much safer this way. Last, but certainly not least, is some thinly sliced green onion. Because if you watch my channel, you know a recipe is never complete without some thinly sliced green onion. You're going to want to use an oven-safe pan for this, so as always, I recommend cast iron. Heat it over medium-high heat and add the bacon. Because these are so thick, it's gonna take some time for the fat to render and the bacon to start to crisp. So give them a stir every so often, but just let them do their thing. Once they just start to brown on the outside, we can toss in the diced onion. Reduce the heat to medium and season with a small amount of kosher salt. The salt will draw moisture out of the onion and it'll help to caramelize them in the bacon fat. In the meantime, we can make our sauce. Now, it's crucial that you pay attention to this part, as it's so complex that only the top 3 master chefs in the world can make it. In a small bowl, combine Japanese or Kewpie mayo and gochujang, Korean fermented hot pepper paste. And that's it. Bust out the tiniest whisk you have and give it a good mix until everything is fully incorporated. You could also adjust the amount of gochujang depending on your heat preference. Now, as delicious as bacon fat is, we definitely don't need this much, especially since we'll be introducing more fat to it with the gochujang mayo. You can pour off the fat and save it for the millions of uses you can use bacon fat for, or just blot it up with some paper towel. Once the majority of the fat is removed, turn off the heat and add the corn. Give it a good mix, then add the sliced green onion and the gochujang mayo. You'll want enough of the dressing that it has the consistency of potato salad. Give it a taste because, be honest, I know you've been dying to. Then season with kosher salt and freshly cracked black pepper. Using a spoon, pack everything down so that the surface on top is nice and flat to ensure everything cooks evenly. This is already so fucking good at this point, and it could be turned into a salad and eaten cold. But you came here for some cheese porn, and who am I to disappoint? Mozzarella is most common for cheese corn, and you could literally use anything. But for me, I like Bocconcini, which is a fresh mozzarella made into little bite-sized balls. With Bocconcini, you get the melty stringiness of mozza, but instead of one giant layer of melted cheese, you get little pockets of melty cheese, which I honestly prefer. Place the corn cheese in an oven set to the lowest broiler, or an oven set to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, until the cheese is melted and starting to turn golden brown on top. And that's literally it. Bacon corn cheese. Simple, easy, and beyond delicious. Unfortunately, after I took it out of the oven, I spent a good 10 minutes taking pictures, so by the time I sat down to eat it, it was still a bit gooey, but not as stringy as it is fresh out of the oven. But it tastes so damn good, I could have cared less. By the time this is up, I'll already be on my way to Vancouver for the week. I will have an episode out next Wednesday, but like this one, it will be a bit shorter. If you like my channel and are interested in supporting it, you can check out my Ko-fi page. I'll leave a link for it down in the description if you'd like to contribute and donate to the channel. And a big thank you to everyone who already has. You're amazing, and this channel wouldn't be here without your support. But liking, subscribing, and commenting is always a huge help, and best of all, it's free. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome.